Welcome back to another episode of JK Philly. Today we got a new episode talking about the Phillies and the Detroit Tigers series. We hope you guys enjoy the video.
I could load up and attack on anybody. Grab the gat, grab the mask. I think my aura going black, and I don't plan on turning back. What's the point of doing that when you got people that's around?
We're doing our long overdue update on the Phillies. I'm here with Camilo, and we're going to talk trade deadline. We're going to talk the last series with the Tigers, overall expectations for the Phillies going forward. Starting with the Tigers series. It was a mixed bag, I would say, for the first series after the All-Star break. There were some good signs. There were some bad signs. The one signing looked great, and the other signing didn't really do much. So give me your thoughts on the Tigers series, Camilo.
Well, with the Phillies taking the series in a 2-1 or a 2-1 fashion, I think it was a good series overall. It gave us a good example of how it gave us a good implication of how he's going to pitch. He broke the record for the fastest thrown ball. He looks great on the mound, lots of energy, lots of long intro, longer than his ninth inning. So that's a good thing. That's a good sign. I think the Phillies played well. You know, even though we only scored 2 runs in the last game, we were able to hold it out with our pitching. Christopher Sanchez looked amazing on the mound. He threw 8 innings. Obviously, you know, going up against probably the best pitcher in the league and Tarek Skubal, you know, we put up 5. So can't complain against that, even though we lost that game in 7-5 fashion. And then in the first game, we won 5-4 after we were losing for a majority of the game. Coming back and winning that game definitely gave us a nice momentum going forward in the rest of the series. Could have seen a little more production from, you know, in the second game from our bullpen when Suarez threw 7 and then, you know, Kerkering comes in, or I think it was Matt Strom actually came in and then gave up a couple runs there. So we always can work on the bullpen, but overall, Duran's debut looked good. Our starting pitching always looks great, and it's nice to see our bats actually putting some runs together.
Yeah, I would agree, and that's why I said it was a bit of a mixed bag. It was nice to see them come back in that first game after losing. The second game, like you said, if you score 5 runs in a game that Skubal started, I think you did plenty. You're not gonna hit Skubal like that. He's the best pitcher in baseball right now, him or Skeens. So to put 5 runs up and still not get the win was a little frustrating. But the third game was nice because, man, I don't care how you get it done. Sunday Night Baseball, 7 o'clock on ESPN, man. Just win the game. So
win the game.
As far as Duran looked great. We solved that problem. I was glad Rob Thompson wasn't doing the, you know, bullpen, the closer by committee, you know, whatever the matchup says. Like, he's here to close.
Exactly.
He's going to be in the 9th inning every time. So that was nice to see. On the hitting side of the ball, it feels like the same team. Great win on Sunday because of Sanchez. It was Sanchez and Duran that won that game. The offense didn't really show up much. And that's the Phillies. And unfortunately, Bader didn't really give you much. He's probably not going to give you much. I'm thinking maybe they're hoping he has a breakout playoff run like he did when he was on the Yankees, I believe. He played very well in the playoffs. I think they're kind of banking on that and hoping on that. But other than that, I saw a lot of the same team, but I saw some positives. This is a good team. This team is built for the playoffs and grinding out wins. That's because they have the pitching staff to win these games 2-0 and the power to hit a couple home runs to get these wins. But it was a good series. Other than that, we have the Orioles right now. They're playing the Orioles. I believe Kyle Schwarber actually just hit a 2-run home run to tie the game. I could see us taking 2 or 3 from the Orioles as well. I would like to say sweep, but we don't seem to sweep anybody. So what are your expectations for this Orioles series?
So the Orioles are another tricky AL team that we're going up against because they have some great prospects, some very good, some good pitching, and they overall seem like a pretty good team. I mean, they're going to give us trouble. I feel like regardless of how the Phillies are playing, we're going to play up or down to their competition. If the Orioles are playing well, we're going to play well. If the Orioles are playing bad, we're going to play bad. It's just the name of the game when it comes to the Philadelphia Phillies. So hopefully, I mean, right now you said we were up right now in the game.
I believe it's tied 3-3.
So I mean, like
But
even throwing 3 runs up right now is not a bad way to start the game. Just hoping that we can pull it out because right now, going into September, we're gonna need. Right now, I'm okay if we don't get too crazy into August, but as long as we go into September, late September with some momentum, just to push us into the playoffs and really get us going. Because the last thing we need is to go cold into any playoff series, especially against a team that quite possibly could be hot, similar to last year when we were looking like the best team in baseball and then we ended up losing.
yeah, we didn't show much in that Mets series last year. Like I said, this is a team built for the playoffs, but it's a tight wild card race and division race. So, they still have to worry about actually making the playoffs. They're not, it's not
Exactly.
guaranteed they're going to make it. They have a bad 3-week stretch, and we could be talking about the Phillies fighting for their lives the last couple weeks of the season. One of the things that's helped a lot is Harper is on fire right now. That man is hitting nothing but doubles and home runs right now, it seems. He's got to be the hottest player. He's one of, if not the hottest player in baseball right now, and couldn't have happened at a better time. All this crying at the deadline about needing another bat, and we did need another bat, and I'm not really satisfied with the bat we got. But if Harper's going to keep doing this, then it almost feels like if Bader can just do a little bit and Harper stays this hot, I feel like we'll be good going forward.
I agree. I mean, Harper, and the nice thing is Schwarber's been Schwarber all year. Probably the most consistent Philly we've had on the team this year. And thankfully, Harper's turning it around a little bit. I know he had a period in June and July where it was a little tough to watch, but I mean he's always going to have the passion. He's always going to have the heart. Thankfully, we're only 4 games back from the Brewers, who are the number one team in the NL right now. So we could have a hot stretch of 3 weeks where we just completely take over the league, or we could do, like you said, do the opposite and we just completely dookie the bed and we're fighting for a wild card spot. But thankfully, we're up right now. We're doing pretty good in the NL East. Hopefully we stay above the Mets because we're half a game up, but the Mets are always the one that give us trouble. I'm just hoping that we go in this series with even if we take another 2-1 series win, I'm happy with that. But we definitely have people on our tails, other teams on our tails, trying to take those wild card spots or the playoff spots. It's always in September and in August when we see who the Phillies really are. A lot of times in June, July, we get these glimpses of stardom that we would think that we should have multiple World Series and that we have probably the best team in baseball, especially with Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, great pitching. I mean, even Bryce Harper, he's always been amazing, but even the pitching ourselves, like with Zach Wheeler and our rotation is amazing. But then when you get into the nitty gritty of things like the bullpen and hoping that Bader can not pull a Whit Merrifield on us is one of the things that really is telling in August and September. And I'm hoping that he gets settled similar to Duran, but we won't know till it happens.
Like I said, I like this team for the playoffs, but one of the problems is, first off, we know the team's inconsistent. It's always going to be, are they going to be hot when the playoffs start? Or are they going to be cold? If they are hot, we need that. But what we're also going to need is, what happens in one of these games where, I don't know, like Suarez gets hit up a little bit. He gives up 3 runs and there's a couple guys on in the 5th inning and then he's got to be taken out. Well, Duran's not pitching to the 9th. Is that bullpen good enough to get us from that 5th inning all the way to the 9th for Duran to come out? Like, no. I don't know. I don't see. We're going to be very reliant on Strahm and Kerkering, and I like Strahm and Kerkering. Both of them make me nervous. Kerkering a little more. I never trust Kerkering in those big games. It always feels like in those big moments he does something. Yeah, he does something to piss me off.
Yeah, and then I mean we already know about the other guy we're not going to talk about right now, JR. That absolutely we despise coming into the game, and no shade on him. It's just We go strictly by the stats and by the performances of what is put out there, and it's just we wish we had a little more support on the other bullpen or in the other BP from the other pitchers, but hopefully we can pull it out. Kirkran's a good pitcher. I feel like he's not bad when he's solid. And Matt Strom, even the other day he had a bad outing where he just didn't look like himself, like that last year where he was lights out basically in the 8th inning, 9th inning. It definitely shows that pitching can be a night-to-night basis.
Absolutely. As far as I'm concerned, if I see Jordan Romano pitch in the postseason, there's a serious problem. He better not be on that mound. It better be 15-1, and they're just not trying to waste any good bullpen arms. That's a serious problem if Jordan Romano is in high leverage situations in the playoffs. The man has a 7 ERA. I don't want to see him in the playoffs. He better not be on the team.
I mean, it's also like you said about our starting pitching hitting up a little bit. Like Zach Wheeler didn't have the best outing a couple nights ago. Mm-hmm. He also got hit up. Zach Wheeler may be one of the best pitchers in baseball, at now at least. But he's still human, and you can see it, especially with the outings that he had recently, where he gave up 4 or 5 runs in the first 5 innings, and now we're kind of just, okay, what are we going to do about this game? How are we going to move forward? And I think it was the first game against the Tigers that he gave up like 3 runs right off the rip, and those are the times where you need a good bullpen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because his last 3, I don't worry about Wheeler. I think he'll be fine, but his last 3 starts have not been Zach Wheeler-esque.
Right.
So I worry about that a bit. But just wanted to touch base on a couple Phillies things. We hadn't made a Phillies video in quite some time, so we thought we'd get something out here and talk about the team a little bit. I watch damn near every game, so might as well get on here and run my mouth about it a little bit. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next episode.
Thank you guys for watching another episode of JK Philly. Make sure you stay tuned by subscribing to the channel.